All right. Welcome, everyone. It's our number 11th
Episode 11.
Stars of Tomorrow podcast. This is Heather Cannon. I am the co-founder and executive director of Uniting Distant Stars.
Hi, everyone. I'm Heather's co-host, Kevin Na. I'm also a volunteer here at United and Stars and grateful to always be doing this with Heather.
All right, and today we have another special guest. It is Saintanne Tipton of the Lighthouse, and I've known her a little more than 2 years now. She's got a wonderful organization in Haiti, and also I just want to give her another thanks. When I went to Liberia last year, she sent me with some backpacks and school supplies, which I forget what the program was now, but they were able to give them out to some of the students. I think it's whoever did best that semester or whatever. And I just want to welcome you, and I want to give you a chance so you can talk a little bit about yourself so people know who we're talking to today.
Wow. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
You look beautiful, Heather. It's been a while.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for having me and nice to meet you, Kevin. I love that
Yeah.
beautiful red hair.
Likewise. Oh, it's actually it's kind of like a dirty blonde actually, but I've gotten orange. Seems to be the main one I usually get. So red's a, a bit of a new one for me.
I like
I'm
it.
going with natural gray, so
Well, I had to wash my grays out. I'm not ready for them.
okay.
But my name is Tipton. I was adopted from Haiti, from an orphanage actually, and I live in Minnesota. Um, so I eventually moved to New York because I wanted to meet other Haitians because I hardly see any here in Minnesota. And then I came back again because I got a job offer. And 2017, actually, before the Lighthouse, I was doing mission work. I traveled several places. I've been to South Africa, Jamaica, Costa Rica, Liberia. I went to Liberia.
Right.
um, um, Jamaica, several places, and the list goes on. Traveling, doing the work, doing mission work, working with kids, and schools and camps and different settings and churches. And so, always going back to Haiti, also working with an orphanage, giving back. And so, 20 at 16, I kind of had a vision. I know, I have to tell it like it is. It was a vision like from God. I felt to do the work that we are doing right now in Haiti, which is, starting a nonprofit, which I didn't know anything about. So I had to learn a lot since then. So we got a 501c3 in 2018. And so we've been going strong ever since.
Nice. Well,
Awesome.
before I tee off the conversation, I always want to educate people about how histories are intersect. There's a lot of connection. And doing my studies to learn a lot about Liberia and how it came to be, because growing up in small town USA, I had no clue. I learned about it working at a casino in Minnesota when I met some Liberians. And I'm like, oh, I need to know more about this. And I found out the Haitian Revolt. Uh, that scared the heck out of the white people in this country at the time because there was a rebellion for them to be freed from the French colonizers in Haiti. And so from that, the American colonization was started because there was a fear of having freed Black people with enslaved Black people in the US. And the goal was to send people back to Africa. And of course, they did not know when or where. And one of the things that people don't realize is that these people were not very good fundraisers. No matter how hard they tried, they could never raise the funds. So during President Monroe's administration, they passed I think it was called the Slave Trade Act, because it was no longer allowed to bring people from Africa. And in that, they appropriated $100,000 to set up travel of people back to Africa, which end up being in West Africa, Liberia. So Haiti's revolution had a big part in how Liberia came to be. And so I really wanted to educate people on that. But also in recent history, we know there's been a lot of problems in Haiti, and we know there's challenges to your work, St. Anne, because of what's been happening. And it's hard to get in there, and it's having those people on the ground. So if you could give us some background of what's been going on and how you and your team are mitigating all that.
Well, you know, it's really unfortunate because, as many of you may or may not know, in 1804, we successfully, you know, revolted, you know, from the French, you know, being occupying in Haiti. We won our independence. And it seems like ever since we've been, you know, penalized, you know,
Mhm.
and so it's been making things, you know, extremely, you know, hard for us because we have never given a break. So much has happened to Haiti, you know, since then. And you know, we have the political situation, we have our weather, the climate situation, and we have our president got murdered in office a couple of years ago, and it's just turned the country into you know, a place that's not safe, or a place that's not even you know, healthy for kids, you know, to thrive. And so the as I mentioned, the Lighthouse is right now, because of the situation, actually because of what happened in COVID and 2020, we were not able to set up like we know we had planned on doing that. So therefore we have no infrastructure. But however, we have partnered with about five other organizations where we are able to do the work. And also we have a good group, a good team on the ground to help us to do the work that we are doing. And we've been doing a lot of projects. Starting with the COVID, we did a COVID project where we educated the people about the situation, you know, how they can safely take care of themselves. We have a program that we do where we have kids in the summer, of a summer camp that we do. We have the where we provide education, you know, for kids, and the list goes on. And so the only way we are able to do that work, because I myself have not been able to travel to Haiti because you know what's going on. We have a gang situation that kind of had I have to say this way, had taken over the country. I really believe things are getting better, to a better situation. So they had taken over that, like, the city. So a lot of people, you know, lost their job, and a lot of things transpired because of that. And it just moved a lot of people in the countryside, and you know, living in shelters, living in the street, living in camps. Kids are not able to go to school because school, they had to close the school, and so forth and so on. And food is really high. The block the roads where food is not given.
Mhm.
But with the team that we have on the ground and the partnership that we have formed, we are able to do some things.
And I think one of the more important thing is the partnership you have on the ground, the people on the ground, and the resilience. You know, I think people forget that um, people have to exist in these countries
Yes.
that a lot of people never have traveled to. And so what is that resilience of your team that's on the ground? What keeps them going?
Oh my God. Yeah, you're right. You know, Haitians, we are resilient. I think what keeps them going, I think a lot of it has to do with faith, people's faith. You know, no matter what, they know that there's still hope, you know, because nothing stays the same. There's got to be a change, you know. And so I think that's part of it. And also the you know, doing good. The team, they know that what they're doing. Like Mr. Bellevue, my program director, we hired him a couple of years ago. He just loved the work. I mean, he could have left and come to the state, but he feels that, this is home for him. And what he's doing to help the kids, help the community and the families, it's a noble thing. And so seeing the change, seeing the transformation when somebody's there for them, when somebody's able to listen, to their conversation or come to their rescues at times, I think that does a lot for them. And then also us in the state believing in them, and so it gives courage to keep moving forward, to know that there's a tomorrow, you know that's the best way I can describe it, because you are right. They're dealing with some tough challenges, some tough situation that's going there, and it's you talk about it, seeing it is one thing, but to just be in the midst of it is a whole different story that you cannot explain until you see it and being there. So I recommend. I'm grateful for them that they able to be able to do that and have the strength to help each other, because it really takes a village.
Right. Right. And I'm curious as to know how did you go about finding volunteers or those who were willing to, step into those different positions, like you mentioned, your program director, especially when you were establishing the Lighthouse.
Definitely. It's not easy, but however, because of the Lighthouse, because the work, our vision, our mission is to work with underprivileged kids. And I think because of our mission, it really gives the people hope, because they feel, well, if you can be in America and you have the heart to be here to want to help us, we definitely want to jump in and do our part and do what we can. And so by being in the community and talking to the people, we get a lot of volunteers, and they know that we cannot pay them because we don't have that kind of funds. But however, they know that if they are with us, there's a small stipend, and then they're able to again make a difference in the community, because if they don't help,
Mhm.
you it become like a lost cause, because it
Yeah,
takes do something as part of, because they live in the community, so it
right,
behooves to be part of what's happening.
right. And do you think there's maybe an element of maybe national pride just in the fact of, helping, my country do better as far as motivation goes?
Definitely, yes, the pride. You talk about, hey, a lot of times when we're doing events and I'll say, Mr. Bellevue, I need pictures. And he's like, oh, the Haitian people are really proud. You can't have them looking any kind of way, because and they are in a terrible situation, but they still want to look good. And so, and I get it. And you're right, is the proud of their heritage, of who they are, no matter what. And they're proud of, what's happening there, and they want to be part of it.
Yeah, and
Yes.
I think that, and I like where you're at. And this is something I've seen in Liberia. I think everybody discounts the everyday people, like they're just looking for
Mhm.
something that they don't want to give back. And that's not true. I've seen it in Liberia. And my co-founder, who is Liberian, and he's been through all of it, the wars, the Ebolas, the COVIDs, everything. And it's that giving back. And when they see their own people looking empowered in leadership, regardless if they have money in their pocket or not, that inspires others
Definitely.
to be part of that. So I like that. It's something I think you and I have in common with our organizations.
Yes, definitely. My battery is running out, so I'm trying to. I didn't know.
Oh, no problem.
Plug it. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
it's a good thing
You
you
are.
caught it.
Yes, I know. You are so right. You are so right, because a lot of people, they're just doing it, out of the goodness of their heart. What they want to be part. what's going on, because they know eventually things will change. If they all do their part, they will see the change, and they'll be part of that change, because we are the one who can make it happen. We are the change that we want to see, and they know that.
Mhm.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. No, it is. And so, I know that you've been doing some feeding programs, and I think you've been trying to send some school supplies or something over there. Or what have you been able to accomplish with the challenges?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, actually a lot. Again, because we have good people on the ground. We have a board that we do not pay. They just, again, they appreciate us coming in the country and doing what we're doing. Where a lot of NGO left. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to settle
Oh,
this.
no, you're fine.
If
You're okay.
my stand is upstairs. Where a lot of NGOs have left Haiti, especially when the gang situation. I'm
Mm.
gonna turn this around because it just seems so dark. Where a lot of NGOs have left, and so here we go. I'll just hold it for a while. Where a lot of NGOs have left Haiti, and so we. I'm sorry. What was the question again?
What programs you've been doing? I know you've done some feeding,
Oh,
things like
yes,
that.
yes, yes, yes. Yes, we have done several programs. We've done the feeding programs, and that's not one of the things that we do, but because of the situation in Haiti,
Right.
because food are scarce and people are hungry, we were able to we did a fundraising actually. We had to do with food to provide food for the people, especially the people in the misplaced in the camp, display all the people in the camps, so we were able to do that for them and feed them. And also we just work with a pregnancy center, the same situation. The women's were pregnant and they didn't have enough food to eat. They didn't have no medicines over there, so we were able to reach out to um, we were invited to one of the Rotary Club, who provide us some funds to be able to buy medicines and food for them. Also, this year, one of the projects that we are working on is providing school for 50 young people. That
Oh,
if we
wow.
didn't do that, they will not be able to go to school. So we're
Nice.
going to provide tuition for them. And that has been hard because we cannot provide everything. In Haiti, they have to wear uniform and they need a certain kind of shoes, and they need you know, the books and everything, and we can provide that. And we are saying, if you can provide that, we'll provide this tuition. And it's not been easy. We're still missing a few kids out of the 50 to be able to do that for, because the parents are struggling. So we're trying to do what we can actually to make sure that we can even provide the uniform for them, and the shoes, and the and the textbooks, and also lunch, because if they don't eat, they really can't learn.
Yeah.
They need to eat. They need that energy. So yeah, so that's one of the things that we are working right now this year, is to provide 50 kids tuition to go to school.
Okay.
Yeah, and you brought up a
Um,
point about the NGOs leaving. So when I went back to Liberia after 9 years in 2022, um, things had changed. A lot of the NGOs had left,
Yeah,
because once you're not the hot spot in the world anymore, you lose all the attention.
yeah,
And I walk around. I don't always sit in a car and look at people. I was walking around because I had lived over in that area that we have our school. And people say, what it's like. And I said, like I said earlier, people exist.
yeah.
They might not like the situation, but they still have to exist. They're
yes,
resilient. They know how to survive. They wish things were better, but they're going to make do however, even though their country might not be in the global spotlight anymore. They still are there. And we living in our cozy little countries with all our creature comforts fail to realize that there's people out there that are just managing, but probably have more hope and more gratitude than those of us who have the plenty. Kevin, you.
Sure.
definitely.
Yeah, and
Definitely.
and you had mentioned a bit ago about the Rotary Club. Are there any other organizations that you partner with? It just stuck out because my freshman year of college, I was active with our Rotary Club, uh, out in Duluth here in
Hmm.
Minnesota. So I'm just wondering if there are like any other organizations that you do partner with, or that kind of maybe um contribute to what your objectives are of some of your projects.
I mean, we're looking for some, especially here, but it's not been easy because, again, because of the situation in Haiti, and also because of the what's the word? The bad rap we've been getting,
Yeah.
because people don't know our
Reception.
history. Yes, the perception. They don't know our history. They don't know all that we did actually once we were free from slavery, how we came to America and have fought here, and so because of that, there's people are a little bit taken back and helping, and so and then also too, one of the things that I hear all the time when I'm out there asking, speaking and see how we can get support, and it's like, well, how are you able to do anything in Haiti because the country is upside down and blah 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 blah. But I trying to tell them Port-au-Prince is not Haiti. A lot of
Mhm.
the stuff is happening right there in the city, but however, that we like right now we move out of the city, we in a country, we in a town called Leogan. We are able to function, we are able to do things because the chaos is not there, even though it's limited what we do because what's happening in Port-au-Prince affect us.
Affects the rest of the areas. Yeah.
Yes, but however, we are still able to do the work that we are doing because of the good people on the ground. And
Right.
so, with that said, we have more um, partners in Haiti than we have here, but we are becoming to put ourselves out there, our name out there, and we are making a
Mhm.
little bit more connection.
Right.
Um, yes. So, I'm
Yeah,
happy about that. I
that's
just
awesome.
spoke actually a couple of weeks ago to a second Rotary Club, and I'm working on talking to another one because I know they do good work. So I'm looking forward to just sharing more with the others about the good work that we are doing in Haiti.
Oh yeah.
I think you brought up a good point, St. Anne. No country's a monolith. Not everybody's the same. Not every location is the same.
Yes.
And in this country, we just kind of like think, oh, it's bad in this spot, so the whole country is bad. And then that's not how it's ever been. And I think it's constantly you have to educate people about the realities. And the everyday people are not the politicians. There is a huge
That's
Right.
true.
separation between that too. And I
Yes.
think sometimes people hear about the politicians, but don't realize there are people, there are children, there are families, there are people that
Yes.
are just trying to survive. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And going back to perception, I think it's kind of depends on like what's covered. Because very rarely I guess, does the news really portray anything that's, good? Because, that's not where they're going to get most of their viewership from. So they're always focusing on, the issues and what's bad. But like like you mentioned, maybe if things get focused on, the good work that's being done there, I'm not sure how news is covered there in Haiti, but I'm not sure what the news outlets are like. But maybe showing like some of the work you guys are doing or showcasing that, would help with that perception, as far as that goes.
Yeah, well, the best way we've been able to do that, like we try to document everything by doing videos and pictures, and we have a website, so we put them on the website so people can see we are, transparent. They can see what is going on, what is happening, that we are doing it, the donations and what they are
Hmm.
giving. The people is going to the people, and the people are receiving it. Yeah.
Is there a social media presence, as far as Lighthouse is concerned?
Say that again.
Does Lighthouse have a social media presence?
We do. We have a Facebook page and we have Instagram, but right now we are looking for a social media person because
Hmm.
You know, it's a lot to be done. So
Oh yeah.
we need somebody to maintain those page. We do our best, but
Yeah.
however, it's not maintaining like it should. As a matter of fact, I'm talking to somebody right now to see about that. But we do have a media presence. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That's the
It's
problem.
like
Saint Anne, like me, has a full-time job, and
Yeah.
so
I work
and
full
then
time.
this becomes your other full-time job, but you only have so much to give, you know, where you have
yeah.
that creative energy going, and that's a struggle with these type of smaller, but I would say impactful NGOs. I mean, we both have seen what large NGOs can and cannot do in a given country. Sometimes it can be good, and sometimes it's not so good. You know, I
Mhm.
think it was after the earthquake, all that money came in, and there was only a few houses that
Oh my
were
God.
rebuilt.
Yes.
Yeah,
You can even see
yes,
where that money went.
yes,
You know,
yes. And you can say
millions.
this, you can say that after the Ebola in Liberia, where did all that money go? So I mean it, and there's sometimes a trust giving it to the people. They a lot of times funnel it through the governments where maybe the people would be probably more trustworthy, you
Right.
know, if they would give it to them, and that's what's not happening. So yeah. Yeah, it's, you know, and I know Haiti unfortunately had some bad rap last year in our media. And again, it's people taking the time and doing their own, you know, talk to people who are from Haiti, you know. That's where you learn a lot about things, you know, and you're going to learn that they're a human being like yourself, and
Yeah.
not listen to someone make some crazy mentioning of just, you know, I don't even want to repeat it again because it was just
Yeah,
foolishness.
I know.
And, you know, but it's unfortunate because these are people that came to the country and were actually reviving that small community. Was that in Pennsylvania, if I remember right? And they're actually doing good. You know, it should have been a better story. And unfortunately, it got turned around, and which is sad. And, but I think what you're doing, you know, and again, we're here, and sometimes we can't go when things are not okay over there, but you still have to do the work, and you still have to do the awareness. And what are your strategies to really kind of hit home to people that these are just human beings, where they don't see them as something else?
I think the best way to do that is using me as an example. You know, I was fortunate because I was adopted, but it's just let them know, you know, people are people. They're just like you and I. Some people are poor, some people are rich, but we are all the same, you know, but just different situations. And so and made the plea, the conversation where is that they're not putting their hand out there asking people. They really want to be able to work. They want to work. They don't want, that's why we talk about Haiti being people that's, you know, resilience. The people are hard workers. They want to work, but there are no situation. The kids want to go to school, but there are no situation to send them to school because schools are
Right.
private. The government doesn't provide it. The people cannot provide it because they don't work. They lost their job, you know. So just so many things that put them in that situation. It's not due to their cause. They're not a lazy people. It's not like, oh, there's job but they're not working. They can go to school but they're not going to school. That's not the situation. They don't
Right.
have a school to go to. They don't have a job to go to. They don't have a home where they can lay their head because all that was taken, all that was destroyed, you know. So that's kind of how I have the conversation, to just kind of help them to be able to see it the people in a different lens, you know.
Yeah.
That is not, those things that's happening is not because, you know, they're not trying to do anything about it. They are. That's why we get so many volunteers, because again, they want to do something,
Yeah.
Hmm.
you know.
Yep.
So that's the best way I can you know, because sometimes, you know, you can not switch people's mind. People will believe what they want to believe,
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people, when they see my life, when they see how I can go, how I can make a difference, how I'm not just sitting back or not doing anything, it kind of gives them a view of a Haitian. you know
Yeah.
they really, they see me, they say, oh my God, this girl can go. Yeah, that's the same way within any Haitian in Haiti. They
Hmm.
can go. Just give them something, they will do it.
Absolutely.
Hallelujah. And that's the same
Hallelujah.
way, that's the same way in Liberia or even here. I think we always knock people who don't have the means as
Hmm.
being lazy. But a lot of times it's they lack the resources or they
Yeah.
Yes.
lack the opportunities. So it's easy to again paint that wide brush, to say
Without
they're
even knowing the
all
details.
this.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And people, yeah, they want to do something, but if it's not there, and like Liberia, the government schools are not that great. And you still have to pay money there. You got the private schools, and it does make it a challenge, and especially if in Liberia, the private sector is pretty much null. It's mostly foreign owned, and they don't hire a lot of Liberians. So if you're not working for the government or learning to be self-employed, you can't be a part of the economy. And,
Hmm. Hmm.
and so, yeah, so you have to really work with people where they are and work with their resilience, help them build more tools in their tool chest to, be more self-sufficient.
Definitely, and that's what we're trying to do. That's why, that's the main thing, because we want them to be self-sufficient. We don't want to, it's kind of like the story about, instead of give them a fish, but teach them how to
Teach them
fish.
how to do it.
Yeah.
Yes. That's the
Yes.
whole idea. That's the whole thing. Getting, putting those kids, because I love the quote by Nelson Mandela, that education is the tool that you can use to change the world. It
Right.
really is. Education is, very crucial, very important. And I think that's part of it, with people not knowing about our country. They lack the education, what's happening. So, so that's why we always have to educate people, because they'll ask you, well, why aren't they in school? Why can't they do this? Why can't they? It's not that easy. Like you said, we lack the resources. We lack, the funding, the lack, so the tools. So they don't have that. But we know that if we provide education for those young people who wants to go to school, we can change Haiti. We can change the situation. They can be the businessman. They can be, the politician. They can be the school teachers. They can be the president. They can change the world. But without that, they can't.
And Haiti's in a rough
Absolutely.
situation too. It's an island, and
Yes.
and doesn't have a very friendly neighbor. So that's an island. So it's
Yes.
so it's not like
Unfortunately, because it's one island.
it's one island,
Yeah.
yes. But you have to rely on things being shipped in. And if the shipping companies are afraid to bring stuff in, it makes it harder
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So yeah, that is a challenge. And
It
that's
is. It's a big challenge. We have people starving right now, believe it or not, because food is not getting to them. You have the politician that's, fighting each other because everybody wants to be, the big
Wants to be
man.
right. Yeah.
Uh-huh. But they're not helping the people. It's all about them. I mean, nothing new, everywhere. It's so it's all about them. And so then the people struggle, the children, you think they will have some kind of compassion, at least for the kids, but
No.
nobody get away. Everybody, is in the same situation. So it's really unfortunate that they will do that to, to their own country, that they will not try to do something different, especially when they see everybody else is against us. How can you be against your own people when we
Right.
right,
have no support, and we're not getting a support either from you, from the government?
right.
So it's
No,
like in a hard place. We are in a hard place. But thanks be to God. I know nothing lasts always, because I'm
Amen.
always reminded of Rwanda. That wasn't so long ago when all that was going on,
correct.
and but look at it now. So things will change in Haiti. I know it's taking time, and sometimes it's a slow pace, but it has to.
Right. And
to
like you said, it's not as like you're not doing anything. You're actively, on the ground. You have
Yes.
people on the ground that are, doing things to help make a change there.
Yes, definitely. Thank
I think
God
it's
for that.
yeah, and I think that's great that, and again, amplifying them that there are people on the ground doing something. I think a lot of times people think that everybody's paralyzed and they're not doing anything. And throughout history, even when people are getting bombed, I read this about when Germany was bombing London. They would get up the next day, they would sweep everything up, and they'd go back to work. I mean,
Mhm.
that's just how people are. You know,
Yes.
they know this is a situation, like you said, it's not permanent. It's something they have to go through. They hate the loss of life. They hate the loss of disruptions. But the indigenous people in this country says our existence is our resistance. And I think we see
Right.
that throughout history and throughout modern times right now in so many
Yes.
different places that
Absolutely.
are having issues. Yeah. So and I think that's what's powerful. And I think really helping everybody amplify these stories in these type of countries and realize, and there is that connection, yeah, Haiti scared the hell out of this country, and then yes, they were helping the abolitionist movement here as well. And unfortunately that, yeah, became kind of the curse, but it shouldn't be the curse. I mean,
No.
Right.
if people are people of faith and they believe in Jesus, they would realize he would not be for what they were doing for
Definitely.
Exactly.
enslaving. And again, people will say, everybody had slavery. Oh, no, no, no. We had a
Nah.
whole different
Yeah.
kind of slavery here. Let's not
Right.
mix it up with
Let's not
anything else.
compare.
Let's not compare. No, it
Yes.
was inhumane what Europe was doing.
Mhm.
Yes.
And because
They
it,
took it to
that's
another level.
they took it to
Yeah.
another level. Yes. And again, it's again, all these histories are interconnected. We can't say, "Oh, I'm an island. I had nothing to do with that." Mm-mm.
Right.
No,
You were right
no,
in
no,
it.
no, no.
Right.
And I think
Right.
again, even in this country, we're having another discussion. Was slavery real or was it so
Uh,
bad after all? Yes,
was
it
this,
was.
And it was bad.
I mean, the
Yes,
fact that
it
it's even a
was.
question, the fact that those are even questions being posed is very concerning, but then again, it's like,
We have to keep speaking to it. We can't
right.
let it, you know, it's when you put light on it, truth comes out in the light, it
Yes.
hides in the dark. But if we don't put light on it, and
There's no
because
way to
all
learn
these,
from it, really.
right,
Yes.
and I don't know, Liberia had it, Rwanda had it, South Africa had it, both Canada and Australia had it. Did Haiti ever have a truth and reconciliation?
You know what? I don't think so. I'll have to check into that because we're still waiting for them to give us back that money that we had to pay them to be free from slavery. And that's
Oh,
part of it too, what people don't understand. We had to pay reparation, is that the word? So
Reparations.
yes, thank you.
reparations to
Yes,
France?
to France.
For
And,
what?
and
Big money
I,
because they feel that we took their property. We were the property. They feel that that was their income, that was their livelihoods. I mean, just crazy stuff. So they made us pay them a lot of money because they
understand
felt,
too. And I understand too that a lot of the Franco countries or former Franco countries in Africa are still paying something back to France. And I don't think any other former colonies asked for that. So I know that's been a real sticking point for that. And it's, yeah, why? I mean, they got free money off the slave labor.
yeah, it's crazy
Right.
So,
stuff. I mean, it doesn't even
Yeah.
make
yeah,
sense. Even talking about it doesn't even make sense. How you
Yeah, I mean,
gonna
no,
I'm sure
charge
like no one
people
invited
for
them anyway.
thank you.
no, no.
So, they need to pay that money back because they owe
Yeah.
us that money back. It belongs to Haiti. That money
Hmm.
belongs to Haiti. That money will really help us rebuild, Haiti and starting over, with the
Yeah.
right people and, there to do it too.
Yeah, you don't have the right people in government to champion
No,
that. That's the sad part. Yeah.
that's the sad part.
I
That's
I
the sad
didn't know you
part.
guys had I call that reverse reparations because
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Yes.
mean, you don't
TV.
even call that reparations.
No,
Yeah, no.
that's
I
that's
mean,
Call
another
it,
form of
reparations is what,
you
slavery.
call it
yeah,
thieves.
yeah,
Thieves,
reparations is
yeah.
more like what Germany had to pay after World War I. Yeah, that's what it
And,
is.
Yeah,
and
this
it's
one was because we freed ourselves, we drove them out, we did
mhm.
whatever we had to do to gain our freedom.
So how long was there after that? How long was there actually like peace and maybe
About
thriving in
60
Haiti?
some years.
60 some years.
Yeah, in
Okay.
America was still in slavery. Everybody was coming to Haiti for everything. It was the
Right.
wealthiest
Hmm.
country, had everything,
Mm,
you know.
wow.
So yeah,
Oh,
but and it's just sad to see coming from all the way to the top to fall so far down,
yeah.
but it took a lot to get us where we are. There's a lot of things that happen,
Hmm.
like I said, to get us to where we are. Wicked politicians, the climate situation, the things that the French did to us, the things that America came and occupy us and took whatever they wanted and left. And then put an embargo on us where we couldn't do anything. You have no tourism in Haiti, so there's no money going in or money coming out. Just
Mhm.
Hmm.
penalize the country and the people.
That's what it is. It's penalizing the people.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, my first time in Liberia was in 98, and it's when sanctions were put on. And it only penalized the people.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt the people in power.
Nope.
Right.
And until you see that firsthand, most people have no idea what sanctions
Yeah.
even mean. They have no idea. And but again, regardless, if they didn't have anything coming in, they would
Right.
find ways to keep their radios going, their
Yeah.
cars
Hmm.
going, whatever it was. Again, that resilience, that
Human
heightened
ingenuity.
innovation,
Yeah.
that heightened
Yeah.
innovation.
Yeah.
You know, it was like Apollo 13 where it broke down. It's not like they had a Napa store out there. They had to work with what they had
And
to get back home. Same way within these countries. They work with what they have to get on the next day and the next day and the next day. And I just feel so many people are so clueless to the realities of what the so-called development countries
hmm
impose on these other countries that don't have the resources to stand on their 2 feet, which a lot of times these so-called development countries took all their resources
Yeah.
to enrich themselves. So,
They did.
that's the reality that people don't want to face.
Yeah.
So,
They did. Look
and,
at,
yeah.
Africa. Africa is the wealthiest country. And you have all these, people starving, things are going and war and that. Why? Because they're taking the diamonds. They're taking, I mean, England had no diamonds. Where did the
yep,
Queen get all these diamonds?
From
All
Africa.
yep.
this jewelry and all this stuff.
Mhm.
Just
Hmm.
rape the country, taking everything and still taking. Look at Paris. All the lightning come from an African country.
Yep.
All the electricity and everything. All the resources they're taking it. But you're gonna sit back in your perfect living room talking about, oh, look at them. Well, look at them because of what you did.
Mhm.
Exactly.
You did that. You
Yeah,
robbed them. You came in and took everything. It's
there's not a lot of
crazy.
self-awareness, is there? They want to live in this bubble of
Yes.
Mhm.
oh, we're the good guys. And yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, no, and that's why I like when I see Botswana, they have control over their mineral.
Right.
Yes.
During the 2008 crisis, Angola was actually helping out Portugal, their former colony. So sometimes there's a reversal. And but again, I think the general global public doesn't understand how this works.
Right.
And I think they're easily persuaded by lack of information in the news, lack of history.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
knowledge, or just sitting down and talking to people that are not like them and come from a different country. That's where you learn the most. And
Yeah.
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 yeah, yeah.
People don't want,
And
they don't want that education. They don't want to learn. They don't want to understand. They just want to sit back and talk, you know. So so they're not trying to find out. They're not trying to figure it out either, because they're comfortable. When you're comfortable,
you're
you
not
don't care.
growing.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
But when you're comfortable, you're not growing. You
that's true.
have to be uncomfortable to grow.
Too.
That's true.
You know,
That's true.
and so they end up hurting themselves in the long run, because the world is going to change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it moves.
It
Yeah,
moves, yes. And if you are sitting back 100 years ago in that whatever, and usually it's a mythology too. It's not, they don't, everybody really understands what really happened.
Right.
So they're remembering a mythology, and not the reality of today. And we're all human, and we all have a place on this planet to do something.
yeah,
And
and we're all in the same boat, because your success is our success.
correct.
That's why it's the world economy, not just
Yes.
everyone's economy.
Well,
Thank
we're
you.
we're part of the human family. We're
Right.
Earthlings,
Yeah.
You take away because there's no lines. If you were out to go out in space, I mean, you talk to all these warring nations. Okay, point where your country is. They wouldn't be able to find it because
Right.
Take me to your leader.
they won't find
Right. Take me to your leader.
so yeah, no, this is great, St. Anne, because again, it's all about education, and it's all about understanding, and again, we're all part of this together. No one's an island. No one is got a beautiful history without any ugliness, because we're humans. We're messy.
Right.
Yeah,
we,
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah,
Real
we
messy.
are very messy.
yeah.
And
And do all the good that you can. And it's
yes,
for
Absolutely.
all
Yes.
of us. Yep, it's for all of us to
of
do that,
us.
because we all have a part. We all are here to make a difference. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, you'll always have the poor with you. And
Hmm.
one day it's like I got the revelation. It's like he was saying, we always have an opportunity to do good, because there will
Yeah.
always be the poor. There will always be someone here to to help. And sometimes we get overwhelmed, and we think, oh, so much, and we just give up. People just, I'm not going to do anything. But no, you do something, because the power of one. Because I'm always telling people about my life. I, I wonder if my dad said no when he was moved, because I asked my father, why me out of all those little girls? Because my father came to Haiti to visit a friend, and he got to
Hmm.
the orphanage, and she was volunteering there, and he came to see her. And when we had guests, we had to sing for them. And so I'm singing, little girl, I'm shy. And so he's just looking at all the kids, and I kind of, hide myself. And I remember later on, they sent us to play, and they came and got me. They brought me back upstairs in the living room with everybody. And next thing I knew, I was living. I was getting on a plane. So,
Wow.
yeah. And he said when he went back home, he could not forget the little girl with the big eyes. Because I asked him eventually, Dad, why me? My father had two daughters. He was a divorcee with two girls, so he didn't need another girl. But I know it was all in God's plan, because we
Hmm.
all have a purpose, and it's for us to say yes to that purpose. And a lot of people are not saying yes to the purpose. That's why we have a lot
That's true.
of. Yes,
Yeah.
that's why in Liberia there's a lot of unfinished business, in Haiti a lot of unfinished business, here in America. You can name so many countries, a lot, because people are not saying yes to the call. We all have a purpose. We may not do everything, but there is something you can do. I love the story of the starfish story, because the starfish, it's if you guys don't know that story, it was said about a young man who was he was by the ocean. It was tons of starfish just laying, in the sun baking, and he was tossing them back to the ocean one by one. And somebody came around and saw him and said, hey, what are you doing? You just wasting your time, because there's so many of them. And as he was tossing the one that was in his hand, he said, well, it makes a difference to this one.
Yes, it
Right.
you
does.
know
As it
so
does.
Yeah, definitely. So we have to know that, we have to understand that, because we all have a purpose, and God has a plan for all of our lives, and it's for us to say yes, because all it takes is one, because that one can do so much.
Yes.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I like that. You got to answer the call for the purpose,
Right.
because yeah, we can live a very comfortable life and be totally immune to
Closed
everything
off.
around us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But when it comes time, when you look back at your life when you're older, are you going to have regrets because
Yeah,
you
like
didn't give back,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you're only on this earth for so many rotations around the sun, and then, you
Yes.
know, it ends. And yeah, it's so important. And like you said, just even if you help one person,
Yep.
that is something. It doesn't
Yep.
have to be millions or
Yep.
100 or whatever. It's if you help that one person,
Yes.
and
every little bit counts.
Yes.
every little bit counts. Yes.
Yep. And then that's the power of that one,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
because you have that one person, but you don't know what that one person is going to do.
They'll pay it forward.
Right.
Yes, and then that it also is part of what you did also.
Yep.
Not even knowing it, you actually help all those other people too,
Yep.
because you have that one person that help all those other people.
Yep.
It's just a powerful thing when we understand that domino effect.
Yeah.
Yep.
Chain reaction almost.
Yeah.
Yes.
Calvin, again, our co-founder over there, I always call him my wise sage, because sometimes when I'm feeling frustrated, where I'm feeling worthless over here, he says, "Oh, no, no, no. You don't know. For every one person, you might be helping 500 behind there. You don't
Yes.
know." So
Mm.
he always has to give me that little pep talk when I'm feeling like, okay, this is hard, man. I'm not getting anywhere.
Well, that's good you have him, because that's so important. And that,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that that encouragement, we all
Yeah.
need that. We all need each
Yeah.
other, because sometimes it does get overwhelming. I
It
I get it.
does.
I'm getting
Yes.
calls in Haiti. We need this, and this is happening. That's It's like, oh God, help me, Jesus. And like you
Right.
say, I work a full-time job too, and I
Right.
have a life too. And then I'm working the second full-time job with no benefits, no
Right.
nothing, which is fine, because the greater benefits, what I get from the joy of it, is better than money can offer.
Yep. And then
But
when you see what it does, and
yes, when
even
you see
going
what
forward.
it does, when you see the joy, I'm sure you can say the same thing, Heather. When you
Oh,
see
yes.
those kids, oh my, it's worth it all. When you see those kids, you will give an arm and a leg.
Well, especially some days when my messenger is just full of messages, and I'm responding as quickly as I can to everybody, because sometimes it might not be until one day out of the week I can do that. But it's like,
Yes.
it's really, and again, like Kevin got to go to his first virtual tea time we do quarterly. It's just that interaction,
Oh, I want to be
and
part of that. That sounds
okay,
like
we'll
fun.
invite
Oh
you. We'll
yeah.
invite you to the next one. It's so, because again, we don't script anything around here, St. Anne. We just do everything as is, because I think people are looking for transparency and, realness and authenticity. And I think a lot of times, people don't know how to converse anymore. Everybody's like
Yeah.
texting and
Yes.
emailing, and,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
we need to
Yeah.
know how to talk to each other, and,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and
True.
no. No, this was wonderful. I was so happy
Yeah.
you could join us, and I think
Thank you.
I hope we gave some lighthouse light on Haiti, because
Different perspective.
well,
Yeah.
it's part of our world. It's still part of our global community, and it's going through a lot, and
Yes, it
it's
has.
closer to this country than some of the other, like Liberia is
Yeah.
still far
Yeah.
away for some
Yeah.
people, and
Yeah.
people have an idea of what it is. They might not know the complete history, and some of the, horrific things they've had to deal with,
Yeah. It's a
and
beautiful country with beautiful people that been through some rough times,
Yeah.
but we are coming out of it. And that's
yes,
one thing we don't even want to have. We don't want no pity patty. We don't want nobody, say, oh me, oh,
Yeah.
we don't want that. We don't want that, because we know we're not gonna stay there. We are rising. Haiti is rising.
Yeah, we should never look at anybody's low points because there's always still high points. Like you said, there's beautiful people in a beautiful country, you
Yes.
know, and that should be the focal point than the current problem because all countries have them. We have them right now too.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Do you know
So,
some of the best resort they're taking people when they do those boat they in Haiti. They don't even know it because it's an island. And that's really why they want Haiti. They want to turn it into a resort for the rich
Resort.
and
yes,
famous.
yes.
And that's why they
Profit
don't
off
care
of
if we
it.
leave or die or leave the country, whatever, you know, but they're not even allowing us to come here because it's like, you know, we don't want you here. We don't want you, whatever, you know, they want the country basically. But it's not going to happen.
No, and I just finished a book last week called The Haves and the Have-Yachts, and it's regarding all these wealthy people. And like I know some of our tech bros are taking over islands in Hawaii, building their fortresses.
Yeah.
They're buying nuclear silos because they think there's going to be end of the world, so they want to have their little thing there. And yeah, they want to take over islands and they want their paradises.
Right.
And but they don't realize even the French Revolution, the peasants will revolt every time.
Yes, yes,
Every
every
time.
time because the roots is there. The
Right,
roots is there.
Yeah.
right,
So when
right,
you
There's
have
only so long
roots,
you can keep somebody down
yes,
after
right.
we will
mistreat them.
rise again and
Yeah.
again and again and
And
again.
all throughout history. I just picked
Yeah.
that one up because I think because you talked about France, but France had their own revolution too.
Right.
Yes,
Which
They
I'm sure
kicked
they've
out those
conveniently
two.
forgot.
Yes, yes. So, yeah. So there's put a little pin on that one, and
Exactly.
yes, really.
and yeah. So and again, that's why it's important we continue to learn all histories and
Yes,
see how these things repeat and how the aristocrats or the robber barons or the oligarchs or whatever you want to call them,
Yeah.
they don't hold power for too long.
yes. Thank God.
Yeah. Yeah. Even Rome fell.
Rome fell, yes. Yeah, they
Yeah,
all
Rome fell.
have.
yes,
They
yes,
all have. So yeah, it's and that's where we got to find joy and build people up and lift people up because I think the joy and the humor is what keeps us going and keeps us thriving.
definitely,
Absolutely.
definitely. Kevin, have you ever been to Liberia?
I was born there actually.
Oh, you
So,
from there? Okay,
yes, I was born
cool.
there. So I was born in 96.
Okay,
Um, so I came to the States about 1999, so I've been here for about a minute.
okay, yeah,
Well, yeah, I practically grew up here, but I haven't been back yet. Hopefully
okay.
one day I can. I still have family back there. So it'd be really great just to, be able to return home to speak, so to speak.
Yeah, we went right before Ebola. Oh my God, it was great. I just loved it. It was a beautiful. The people were beautiful.
Yes.
Where we stayed was beautiful, and we were right by the ocean. It was glorious. And I met a young lady. She was so nice. She passed away from Ebola.
Mm,
Yeah, and we keep in
Oh,
touch for a while. Yeah, she had got me some clothes made for me, and she was even sending some here because her sister lived here. She was married, had a little girl, and so Joy, her name was Joy, and
mm,
she was just a wonderful person. And then yeah, she passed away from that,
mm,
so that was really
oh,
sad.
so sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I think I will always remember her memory. But yeah, we had some great. We were there, I think, for 2 weeks, and we were invited by a church, and we did some mission work there with the kids and everything. So, yeah. So I'm happy I got a chance to go there, and I'm looking forward to going with Heather.
I'm going to October 2026.
Yeah, I know.
So
Hey,
I
hang
can't
on.
wait. Well, maybe or
nice.
next year.
Next year, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
possibility.
right now I'm committing every 2 years until, maybe flights get cheaper. Um,
One
you
can
know,
hope,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
international flights.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's very costly. I wish we could go to Haiti. I'm hoping next year, but I don't know yet right now. So
Well,
yeah,
let's hope that can happen, that you can get back there
Right.
and hopefully things start stabilizing because
yeah, I
it's
praise.
better for everybody.
It
Even the
really
people that
is.
think that they have everything in power, it's better for them to have things
Right.
stable and doing
Ye-
well because
Yes.
they live in fear. They know that people hate them and want to kill them, and I don't know
Yeah,
why.
yeah, they do. Yeah.
It's to me that's just what Bob Marley said. You emancipate yourself from mental
Mental
slavery.
slavery,
Yeah.
only we
Yes,
can free ourselves.
you
Yes.
got it. Yes, they are definitely not slavery. So we like Bob Marley. So
Yes,
anyway,
a great Bobby.
so no, this was good. I really enjoyed this. So I'm gonna quickly do some announcements and then we'll end this. And this will go be broadcast on Saturday.
Oh God, I
And
hope you guys can edit it really pretty good. I hope I was
we
okay.
don't edit.
Oh
It's
no,
gonna be just the way it
you've been
is.
great, and
You've been
thank you so
great.
much for sharing your
This
story.
this has
Thank
been a great conversation. We have technical, we have everything. We're used to it, not a big deal. This is called just being us. So,
Right.
anyways, our academic school year, we're actually going to reopen on September 19th.
nice.
I'll be sharing photos soon after last May when we had our fence taken down due to encroachment, I guess. They put up a new fence in a new where it's supposed to be. And so the school's getting ready for the kids. So we're actually starting a week later than the other schools, but we want to make sure everything's in place. Two of our board members, Rich and Philip, and I did a presentation at Cornerstone Cooperative in Plymouth. It's a senior community. And we just did one, talked about that connection between Liberia and the US, Liberian culture, and of course, what we're doing with youth. We had Bronco Tamba's fundraiser back in August. We did raise $750. Um,
Nice.
and so that was nice. We have another fundraiser coming up in Minneapolis on September 19th. And I'm happy to announce we got our 9th star champion, another monthly donor. And those are so important to us.
Yes.
I know St. Anne, you probably appreciate when you get those too, because
Yes.
we're all about sustainability and monthly
Yes.
donors is all
Yes.
about
That's so
sustainability.
important. Yes.
It is, it is. So, Kevin, we might have an opportunity to talk to one of our staff who has some journalism background, and I'm trying to see if I can get someone on this side that one of our board members know, so we could have a very interesting conversation about the state of journalism around the
All right.
world. And
There we go.
yeah, so we can get some interesting topics going on here. So, St. Anne, thank you so much, and
And
we
thank you so much. It was a pleasure
honor
meeting you.
everything you're doing, and we just hope and pray that things get better for Haiti and things really open up. And I will be sharing her website in our YouTube post and on our website. So that way, if you want to learn more or even support her cause, we welcome that because we're all in the boat, same boat together of trying to make this a better world. So until next
Absolutely.
time, guys, thank you.
Right. Have a good
Thank
day,
you,
Bye-bye.
everyone.
Heather.
See
Thank
you
you,
All right.
later.
Kevin.
Yeah.
Bye,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks. You as well.